It's Friday night. Welcome to Friday Night Showdown here, just like we do every Friday night. It's time to go racing. We're at Chicagoland Speedway here with the B-class guys tonight. And calling the action for you, Dakota Herman and Michael Conti this evening. And we've got Joshua on pit road tonight. Guest commentator Steve Zenzi, who would usually be on the track tonight, but for some, we'll call it unforeseen circumstances, Steve actually going to join Dakota and Mike in the booth here tonight. Of course, John, the bad boy wrestling magic fingers himself, he'll be pushing the buttons for you on those cameras, flag to flag tonight. Let's go ahead and take it on up to the booth. Here are Michael Conti and Dakota Herman.
Alrighty, thank you, JD. Welcome, everybody. We're at the Chicagoland Motor Speedway tonight, another mile-and-a-half cookie-cutter track. But Dakota, as we've seen in the past, these cookie cutters can definitely produce some great side-by-side.
Yeah, we saw it last week as well, and I know right now we have a shake-up in the points, which is going to make tonight really interesting with who's going where, who finishes where. Alex Scribner actually taking the lead over Anthony Koenig. So, I mean, a lot of interesting stuff. And one of the guys who is actually sitting, I believe, about 8th in the points, 9th in the points, actually. Steven Azeni, you are out tonight. What happened, bud?
We had some issues during the week in truck race, and I'd rather not discuss it here, but it's one of those things where you can't really do nothing about it, and we're out for a week. So gonna sit this one out and enjoy it up here with you guys.
Alrighty, Steve. Well, I'm looking at the points right now, Dakota, and like you said, we have had quite the shake-up. Like you said, Alex Scribner up into the lead, move Koenig back down 1 into second. Only 7 points separate your top 3 right now. Third would be Brandon Bowie, down 1 from last week. Fourth is Shannon Segler, one of our second split drivers, hanging tough there in the top 5. Good run for Shannon so far this season. Alexia Loma down 1 after last week. He holds the last position in the top 5. Mr. Jared Crawford himself back into the top 10 in points, up 13. Up 7 from last week from 13th. He's now only 21 behind the leader, so he's starting to come up through the field as we're about halfway through the season. Chris Seymour is in 7th. Rich Doucette, up 4 from last week, makes his appearance in the top 10. He's 23 behind. Our guest up here is Steve Azeni. He is back to 9th, 26 behind, and Matthew Wright rounds out the top 10. So, you know, I'm looking at the top 5 in points, guys, and these guys might not go out there every week and win, but you can definitely count on Scribner, Koenig, Bowie, Loma, Segler, all them up there to get good, solid finishes. And it seems like solid finishes, really are paying dividends this season, as we've seen some races where we've had a lot of green flag runs, and we've seen races like Atlanta a couple weeks ago with 12 cautions and a lot of wrecked race cars. So these guys are keeping their noses out of other people's messes, and it's showing right now. I mean, Dakota, I know you've worked with Scribner in the past, and how does he feel? How does he feel about being the leader in the points halfway through?
Well, I know talking to him, he's really excited about that, and he's hoping to be able to hang on. I talked to him a little bit earlier tonight, and I said, quote unquote, are you going to be able to hang on to the points lead tonight? And he said, we're trying. So, and I know a lot of those guys are working together. Thompson's over there with them now, and I know he was just last minute working on the setup with them, and I know they're pretty confident coming in the night that they have something for everybody. But I think we need to step away and go to the Cactus Cuties for our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. We're in the warm-up right now. We're 3 minutes and 53 seconds through warm-up right now. I'm looking at the warm-up sheet. Greg McKinney is currently first at a 30.86 over Rich Doucette. Rich Doucette doesn't have as many teammates in here tonight as he usually does. I only see Rich Doucette and Joe Holt, so the wheelman crew is a little bit thinner than they usually are. I don't see Crawford, no Lawton, so it looks like they're taking the week off. Going to take, I believe, their second drop week here of the Gary Mercer Trucking Friday Night Showdown season number 5. So they're going to have to hope the next couple of weeks here they have good finishes and don't need to take another drop week because their drop weeks are going to be accounted for already. Looking down the list right here, we still have a stacked field. Jason Burstein, Kevin Burris, Duval, Bowie, Greg McKinney, Richard Doucette. Many more down the list here. We'll get them when we go back to grid. But Dakota, right now I'm seeing a lot of 3-car tandems, if you want to call them that, kind of mini packs forming around this track and warm-up. It seems like draft is going to play a pretty big role tonight.
Yeah, without a doubt, it usually does. At this track in Atlanta, I noticed last week it played a big role. And what we noticed last week, pretty big, was there's a really large arrow loose, I believe, or it was at Atlanta. There's a large arrow loose where the cars want to spin when you get cars tucked up behind you. And so far, what I've noticed from being on track is if you get behind a car on the straightaway or going into a corner and you're far enough back, it's actually going to tighten up with the way the draft is right now.
And definitely is. The aero effects are playing a huge role in these B cars this season at these mile-and-a-half races. All right, Dakota, cars are starting to take the grid, and as they take the grid, we're going to run down this starting lineup right here. Starting on the pole position tonight, newcomer to that first starting spot, Dylan Landry. We see him every week. Haven't seen this good of a qualifying run for that number 20 car, but great run for Landry this week. He'll start on the pole with a 30.600. Starting outside of him, Brandon Bowie, who's third in points with a 36.
And starting in the third position, second row, Chris Seymour in an 11 car, and outside of him, Dylan Duval, pro driver, DWC driver, and then number 3.
Starting in row number 3 on the inside is Rich Doucette in the number 6 car. Starting outside of Rich is going to be Mike Kirby in the number 20.
Starting in 7th position, Kevin Barrys, who I actually raced on track so far this weekend. It was an interesting race to say the least. And Danny Hansen on the outside of him.
Starting in the 9th place is Mike R. Johnson in the number 14 car, and starting outside of Mike will be Matthew Wright in the 20.
Greg McKinney rolling off 11th. He's actually going to get to roll up a row, I believe, if somebody has missed a start. But who would have been on the outside of him? Jason Bernstein.
All right, Jason Bernstein coming from the middle of the pack tonight. Justin Kirby starting the 13th position tonight in the 21. Starting outside of Kirby is the number 7, Nick.
Starting in the 15th position, I think I mentioned him a little bit earlier. He's a few guys that are picking him maybe to be a wild card tonight. I believe he actually won last season here. He might have snuck away with it. Justin Thompson on the outside of him, Hollywood E.J. O'Rourke.
Alrighty, starting in 17th is Alex Scribner, your new points leader this week. Starting outside of him is the number 24, Zach.
Starting inside in the 19th position, Jake Poland and Alex Scribner's teammate, also Justin Thompson's new teammate, Jeffrey Parker, starting at 20th position.
Last car to take a time on this grid tonight with the number 9 of Alexi Loma starting in the 21st spot tonight in 30.98. Everyone behind him chose not to take a time. That's Brandon Jarrell, Armando Vargas, John Bunton, Joe Holt, and rounding out this 26 car field here at Chicago, the Garrett Grant. Dakota, looks like the pace car is working off a turn 4, and Landry's going to bring him down to the green in a couple.
In his first pole, and he's going to be able to get a good jump over that 4 car, Brandon Bowie.
Yeah, Bowie's going to drop in behind him. New paint scheme for that 4 car this week. Very sharp looking, may I say. Looks like the race right now is for the 4th position. Rich Doucette looking under Duval. He's going to be at his quarter panel going through turns number 1 and 2. It looks like Doucette's going to make that position off the corner. Here comes Bowie for the lead as the 23 gets a piece of the wall right there. I'm sorry, the 20 gets a piece of the wall. Landry's going to get a piece of that wall off at 2. Not what he wanted to do. That's going to hurt his momentum down the straightaway, Dakota. And that little bit of a bobble and a slip, that's going to relegate him back to the 5th position.
And that definitely stacking up the field is, the 20 getting a little looser, getting below the apron.
It looks like the 20 is in all sorts of trouble right now. I'm trying to get my eyes around him. He's fallen to the back quickly, so it looks like that race setup is not quite as superb as that qualifying setup is. As he's going to slide right up in front of the 25. Here comes Danny Hansen making it 3 wide down the backstretch. He's going to throw it in under the 20 going into turn number 3, and he's going to try to make up that position. Seeing a lot of comers and goers right now. We get a lot of guys racing side by side, starting with Hansen and Landry. Hansen right now in the 9th position. That should move him up as this cycles around right here. That moves Hansen up to 7th. So 7th on back is in one big pack right now. Seems like these guys cannot get away from each other 3 laps into the...
Yeah, with everything going on up front, it seems like they're kind of bogging down. But 3 wide in the back here. I believe
Indeed,
it's a
3 wide in the
21.
Jason Burstein on the bottom in that number 1 car, that all white car right there. Coors Light car in the middle going to the back. On top of him, that looks to be Justin Kirby in that black and blue number 21 car. So Kirby trying to make his way to the front. Looking back here, Armando Vargas is trying to make something happen on the 24. Vargas working that second groove tonight. I was talking to Rich Doucette before the race, Dakota, and he said that you can get some great runs off the off turn number 2, running that 3rd groove. So maybe we'll see some multi-groove racing here tonight. We didn't get to see it a lot at Atlanta, but it seems like there's some more grip here on the top than Atlanta had. So these guys might not be stuck to the bottom tonight. Might see some guys start to work around the track as tired.
I got working around the track, sitting in 16th position currently as that points leader. It looks like he's piled up in just about the middle of that large pack. So I mean, he's kind of looking like if there's any kind of trouble, he might be in trouble.
Yeah, Scribner does not want to be back there right now, and he's going backward right there. That's the 17, I believe. That's Hollywood passing him. 17 EJ O'Rourke, he's coming to the front right now. He's looking under the Justin Thompson machine right there. Thompson not going as forward as quickly as he would like. Thompson started in the 15th position. He's only up 1 spot right now in 6 laps. Don't worry, though. Justin will get to the front eventually. That's a good car right there, that number 16. Keep your eye on that car tonight. Looking back here, Alexi Loma's trying to make something happen on the 12 of Armando Vargas, or maybe Vargas is trying to work the top of the 9 of Loma right there. Yeah, look at that. Vargas is making some time up on the top, Dakota. That's the best looking car on the top I've seen.
And Thompson coming back underneath of EJ O'Rourke, or not EJ O'Rourke, Nick Zonter. So Thompson going up a position, and like you said, you were able to talk to Richard Doucette. Well, I have my little magic card. I was thinking in the garage area too, and I talked to Justin Thompson and that crew, Gale Force, because I get to play with their little magic. And Thompson and them were all actually scrambling at the end. I mean, they're more set up for a long run, so I think that's something where you're going to see them come to the front the longer they go.
Definitely so. It looks like we're on a little bit of a run right now. It's got that green flag racing look to it. We're single file all the way through the pack right now. And I don't really see anyone racing. It looks like these guys are just trying to settle in right here. The first race I can see is way back in the pack. Behind Joe Holt, you have Zach Hudson on the top of that Energizer car. On the bottom of him is Jake Poulin. Jake Poulin was very quick at practice. I'm hearing there's a battle for the lead right here. Here comes Rich Doucette in that Wheelman Inc. JDR Graphics number 6 car right there. The 6 car is going to go to the top spot, and Duval is going to follow him through to get.
There was also just a change for 5th place. Kevin Marys in the number 2 car coming by Chris Seymour in the number 11. So mark Kevin up 1 more spot.
Battle is still back here. It's raging on. The 8 and the 20 have not seemed to get away from each other. Danny Hansen in the number 8 car. He's still trying to go for that 7th position right there. He's going to try to clear him off the port. Oh, it's not going to happen. Oh, he spins out in front of the pack. And he's not going to hit anything. That's a great piece of driving by the 8 and everyone behind him to not hit him and avoid that. So it looks like the 8 and Burstein took a little bit of a spin through the grass, guys, but I think he's going to be okay. So if there's any damage at all on these 2 cars, I don't think it's going to be...
I don't know, Burstein's left front looks pretty badly beat in there.
Yeah.
That might affect his speed down the straightaway, which has been pretty big here in the season.
Just looking just at what happened to Bernstein there, and looks like he came around like he was behind the car, and he comes off the corner and goes around that car, and then all of a sudden sees somebody spinning, moves down, and barely clips that spinning car, but spins him around and does get quite a bit of damage.
That one definitely has some left front damage. I'm looking at it right now. Like you said, he just barely clipped, I believe it was the spinning car, Hansen right there, just clipped him in the rear bumper. So the one's definitely going to have some optional repairs when he comes down pit road, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as it could have been. When you have a car spin out in front of the pack of cars, it's going 180 miles per hour. It's very hard to miss them. So for that 1 in the 8 only to get minimal damage from that little incident right there, that's great for them. It looks like their night is not over just yet. Dustin Thompson trying to get into his pit right there. Had a little bit of a problem with the one inside of him right there. I'm guessing we're going to see 4 tires and fuel everyone. Dakota, I've heard that tires are pretty important this week. What are those Gale Force guys?
We'll have a better idea. Let's go to Josh, who's down on pit road. Maybe he can give us a little bit more insight.
Looks like Josh is having some technical issues. Try to get him keyed up on the radio. When we get him, we'll get him to give us an update. But right now, I'm looking at this at the running order coming off of pit road right there. It looks like everyone's going to take 4 tires and fuel, like I said. So on lap 11 here, the Friday night showdown at Chicagoland Motor Speedway. We're going to take a short break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with green flag. Alright, welcome back everybody. We're working our first caution here tonight. We've had a short 10-lap run. Caution on lap 10. 4 tires and fuel for everyone up here. Rich Doucette's going to lead him down. Brandon Bowie on the outside of him. Doucette puts the hammer down. Going to take a couple car lengths away from that 22 right there. 22 got caught sleeping. 4 has a little bit of a connection issue right there. Not a big deal. He pops back into the screen. Here comes Duval getting up to those gears very well. He's going to make a move on the bottom of the 22 going through turn number 1.
Justin Kirby coming on the outside of the number 12 machine of Armando Vargas, who had a very fast pit stop for 4 tires. I mean, it was flying by.
Yeah, Vargas definitely has to take that pit crew out to dinner after this race. JD's telling me at a 10.7 pit stop. It's just too hard for me to believe that, but we'll just go with that. So great job with that Lowe's crew right there to get him on and off pit road. He gained quite a few positions right there, so great pit sequence for him. He's under pressure right now from Justin Kirby, who's going to make the crossover coming out of turn number 2. Coming down the backstretch, that is the battle for the 8th and 9th position right now. Kirby trying to take it away. Armando does not want to relinquish it. Here comes Kirby down through 3 and 4. He's going to get that run through the center of the corner. Can't slide up because the 12 is still there. 21 is still not clear. This is the problem with this kind of racing, guys. It is very hard to clear a guy when he's got that run on the outside groove up off these corners.
Yeah, this still on the tracks where the outside actually works best compared to one of the half-milers, just with how wide the turns are. You can really carry a lot of speed out of the outside groove because you have to really pinch the guy on the inside down because the corner exits are a lot smaller than the actual corners.
And Thompson and Scribner also coming along. Remember, Scribner the points leader, and Thompson also with that team of Kirby and Scribner. So Guilford Racing is starting to make a charge late in the race.
I wouldn't say late in the race, Dakota. We still have 85 laps to go here. It is not even anywhere near over. Justin Thompson, Scribner, all of those guys right now, they have plenty of time to get up through here. One guy that is going back right now is Armando Vargas. He lost a position to Kirby and now another position to Thompson. So move that 12 back 2 spots. That should relegate him back to the 10th place right there. The 12 with a great pit stop. Car does not look like it's handling quite well enough for him right now. I'm looking up front right here. Greg McKinney was just past the 11 of Chris Seymour. So McKinney's going to move into the 5th position. Seymour back to 6th. First battle on the track is between Scribner and Holt going down into turn number 1. Holt's going to get that great run off the top right there, off of turn number 2. He's going to try to carry that momentum down the backstretch and clear the 19 into 3. I'm not quite sure if he can pull that off.
I think what happened with the 15 able to run down Scribner is if you're kind of sitting behind 2 cars that are battling and they're not making any ground and you're sitting behind them, everybody comes and there's nowhere for you to go. So Scribner just kind of stuck where he was at, and now he's stuck side by side.
Side by side indeed. Scribner down to turn number 1. Holt's going to lose that position. He's got Alexi Loma hungry on the bottom of him as well. Scribner gets a little bit of a tight condition in the center of turn number 1 and 2. Holt's going to get a great run off the corner. Scribner gets a little bit of a sideways wiggle right there, and Holt's going to clear him, and here comes Vargas on the top of the 19, coming down through turns number 3 and 4. So the 15 is actually getting freight trained on the top right now. People are passing the 15 car on the top, so that's what I love about this track. This is one of my favorite tracks on the service. You can move around, you can change your lineup a little bit to meet your car's needs, and it's a great track to race on. Now I'm looking up front right now. Justin Kirby continues his march to the front. Kirby is up to the 7th position, past the 2 car of Kevin Burris. Kevin was coming forward on that first run, Dakota. It looks like they might have made a bad change on that last pit stop as he's going back in a hurry. It's Justin Thompson. Looks like he's going to get the spot on him as well, coming off of turn.
And it's funny how much time Kirby spent trying to get around the 2 car, and I think Justin Thompson just did it in about 1 corner.
Yeah, Thompson looks really good right now. It looks like that car is really starting to come alive as this race goes on right now. About 8 laps into this run. I wouldn't classify this as a long run just yet, but it looks like the 16 is coming forward. Justin Kirby is also coming forward as well. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dakota. Is Kirby affiliated with Gale Force Racing?
Yes, Justin Kirby is Gale Force Racing, as well as Justin Thompson.
So it looks like those 2 teammates are coming to the front. But Scribner, on the other hand, their other teammate, he's having a little bit of a problem trying to get through the... Oh, as Thompson gets turned! Big hook for Thompson right there. Thompson's going to go up on his lid in turn number 1 and 2. The 11 of Chris Seymour is going to happen to get in that as well. 11's going to barrel roll back down the track right there, guys. Well, that's the good old ETV jinx, everybody. We start talking about them, and there they go. That's unfortunate for Thompson. I believe Kirby might have gotten involved in that as well. I'm not sure. Maybe he was in front of that, but 2 great cars might have been involved in that right there. I'm looking at it right now. Looks like Kirby's going to get away. Burris is going to get a little piece of it. He's going to save it on the apron. Great job by Burris, but the 11 and the Justin Thompson machine are going to have heavy damage after that incident. That was a bad record.
It kind of looked like Thompson thought he was clear, but not quite coming off the trying to get up so we could arc his corner in a little bit better. I know that tri-oval was really loose. If you try to get on the bottom and just kind of hang down there, and you got somebody on the outside, it seems to get really loose. So I know he's trying to get up so we can arc his corner, maybe thinking there was a little bit more room. Not quite. Just kind of turns himself for the 11 and puts the car on its roof.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Thompson. Like I said, he was definitely coming forward, but it looks like there's a little bit of miscommunication between the iRacing spotter, maybe the real-time spotter too. I'm sure Thompson has a couple guys watching for him right now, making the calls for him and helping him out. So I'm not sure what happened right there, but definitely a misjudgment from the Thompson machine over to Seymour. Coming down pit road right now, Rich Doucette is going to lead him in. Rich has led the majority of the laps tonight. Bowie's still up front in second. Duval in third. 5 car right now. Greg McKinney is moving up to the front. He's in 4th, and rounding out your top 5 is Matthew Wright, who started in the 10th position. So Wright has definitely made a charge up to the front early on in this. Alright, looks like everyone is going to get 4 tires once again. Or not. I'm seeing the 13 right there. I'm not sure if the 13 just drove through the pits, guys. John Button, I'm pretty sure, missed his pit stall, so he's going to have to come in this next time by. Landry's going to get a great pit stop. He's going to come out second, I believe. I'm not sure if the 4 got him or not. Landry in second. Bowie is going to come out third. Duval 4th. And it looks like the 2 of Kevin Burris, who suffered a little bit of damage after that wreck, guys, it looks like he didn't have much at all. He didn't get any repaired. So the 2 of Kevin Burst is going to come out.
Yeah, it looks like John Button did miss his pit stall, and I believe the 20 of Dylan Landry took 2 tires on that stop.
Well, I'll tell you. I think we have a mic sent down there to Justin Thompson. Justin, you got a copy, bud?
Yeah, but what's up?
Well, what happened there? I know I was listening to your radio there after the wreck, and your spotter was saying it was a net code. A few other guys disagreeing. What happened? Have you had the chance to look at the replay yet?
I'm looking at it right now. It really does kind of look like netcode on my end. There was 6 foot between us, but you know, looking at his car, he wasn't going up the track like I expected him to. So, yeah, racing deal.
Justin, you had a fast car. Did you make changes on it on pit road, or was it just that fast from the start?
It's just that fast from the start. I boned up qualifying.
And we know your teammate Justin Kirby was coming to the front just as quick as you were. I think he was actually leading you through all the traffic. But Alex Scrivener in the back, also your teammate, getting caught up and kind of held up. Are you guys equally as fast, or do you think Alex is going to have a little bit of trouble tonight? Justin's going to be able to go on the win. What's your prediction?
We're all fast. We've all got great cars. We unloaded real good tonight. Made a mad dash there in the last 30-45 minutes with some shock changes on everybody's car. It seemed to help it out a lot. Duvall seems to think he's got a car capable of beating Dissette and Landry, so we'll see.
All right, well, thank you, Justin. Hopefully we'll hear from you next week.
Yes, sir.
There you have it from Justin Thompson, Michael. Unfortunate and disappointing end to his night.
Yeah, you know, I looked at my screen. I didn't see netcode, but, you know, he's the driver. It's right on his screen, so if he says netcode, I'm going to believe him. So, unfortunate deal for the 11 and the 16 right there. 6 is going to stack him up in the restart. Oh, big stack up in the back right there. Oh, EJ's going to get turned around. We're going to have another caution right here, guys. A couple cars stopped in the front stretch. No caution just yet. I don't know how there's not a caution, but the officials must be sleeping up there. So we have a couple cars stopped on the front stretch. Big stack up on that restart. 6 of Doucette brought him down really slow. A lot of guys tried to anticipate it and didn't work out quite well.
And up front, it looks like Brandon Bowie was able to steal away that second place position, I believe, from Dylan Landry, who had it, and is now closing in a little bit on Richard Doucette.
Yeah, it looks like Bowie is starting to close in just a little bit on the number 6. Looking back here right now, Landry's starting to fall to the back once again, so it looks like that car is still not quite right for him. 2 tires, I don't believe, is helping either. Looking back here, Danny Hansen from his spin. There goes Landry, gets sent right there. Landry's going to get sent on the backstretch. He's not going to hit anything. He's just going to give the inside wall a little bit of a kiss right there. No big deal. So Landry on those 2 tires is going to now go all the way to the back of the pack, guys, after that.
This is one of those tracks where 2 tires really doesn't work. The car really starts off loose, and that's the only way to get it work on the bottom. And just taking 2 tires there makes the car really loose, and it looks like he just lost it off turn 2. Got a little help after he was already sideways, but it looked like he was going around anyway.
Yeah, Landry was definitely loose right there. It looks like Holt might have sent him around all the way as the 20 was coming back down the track, as he was super loose right there. 20's just going to have a little bit of left front damage. Not bad, though. He's going to be okay. I was trying to say before that, Danny Hansen, after suffering some minor damage, he's back up into the 13th position. Jason Burstein with that left front damage is in 11th. So 2 cars that were involved in wrecks earlier in the race are starting to come up back to the field. So, guys, you can see you come down pit road, you get your damage fixed, and you can definitely make your way back up through the field.
Alex Scrivener up to 8th, and remember, Justin Kirby was up to about 6th position, went in pit road and actually lost a few spots, but he is back up to the 5th position, so those 2 cars actually coming back up to the front. As Justin Thompson said, they are very fast.
Looks like Alexia Loma is going to be one of her only takers down pit road. He's going to bring in a couple behind him. That's Garrett Grant back there, and that number 18 white and blue car, 25 Mike Kirby coming in, 11 coming in for more damage repair. John Bunton back in. Brandon Gerald's coming in, Mike Johnson, Dylan Landry, and EJ O'Rourke. EJ got turned around in the restart. John, if you could get the if you could get the restart queued back up, I think we need to show everyone that again. That was quite the stack up on the restart. The 6 of Doucette brought him down slow, and everyone tried to jump the start. Like we do on iRacing, we all try to anticipate when the leader's going to go because there's no clearly defined box of when to go. And it looks like these guys back there, they just anticipated a little bit wrong for the speed on the restart, and they all just wadded up.
Unfortunate for those guys that were decently fast cars that got into trouble, but that's one of the more difficult things about racing on iRacing is there's a lot of confusion on the restarts, and I mean that can ruin your race in the first little bit.
It looks to me like we had a similar restart last season, if anyone remembers it, about 20 to go, where the leader didn't go right away. It stacked up the whole field, and for EJ's thing, it looks like everyone just started hitting each other in the back, and he got turned around by the 10, who is Brandon Jarrell.
Definitely so right there, and I always wish that there was a defined restart box on iRacing. They haven't implemented that yet. I hope they will in the future. But right now, it's at the leader's discretion. If he wants to bring him down slow, he can bring him down slow. If he wants to jump it, he can jump it as well when the pace car comes off. So it's the responsibility of the drivers behind the leader to not stack up like that and not take advantage of a situation, like that right there where they could try to jump it. So I think everyone got away okay. Looked like Gerald might have gotten a little bit of damage right there on the front end of his machine. There's another car that got a little bit of damage when he hit O'Rourke in the door. So again, minor damage for all these cars. I think it's nothing that's going to really put an end to their night.
Real fast, we're going to throw it down to Race Central and JD Webb.
I'll tell you what, working some cautions here tonight at Chicagoland Speedway. We want to get a couple of plugs out of the way. Race is being sponsored tonight by Gary Mercer Trucking. Dude, if your pickup truck is too small for the load, get a real truck to haul it. Sponsoring the Friday Night Showdown series here on ETV Live, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated provides long and short haul options for hauling furniture, perishables, refrigerated products, and a whole lot more. Heck, anything you can stuff in the back of a pickup truck, you can get one of Mercer's trucks for sure. With storage facilities in the U.S. and Canada, CT-PAT approved and fast express drivers, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the best choice to haul your load. Give that old pickup truck a rest. Call Gary Mercer Trucking 800-668-2980 or check it out, gmercer.com. Let's go back to the booth. Michael Conti and Dakota Herman.
All right, everybody. It looks like the lights are out on the pace car. Your top 10 is going to restart as Rich Doucette in first. Brandon Bowie is going to be on the outside of him. Kevin Burse having a strong run tonight, going to be on the bottom of row number 2. Duval on the outside of him. Justin Kirby with a mount to the front right here. Justin Kirby's going to be restarting in the 5th position. Matthew Wright 6th. Joe Holt 7th. McKinney 8th. Scribner 9th. And Armando Vargas 10th. The lights are back on the pace car, guys. Looks like we might have had a problem in the back. I'm going to try to look for that right now. I'm not really seeing anything. I'm trying to look. Maybe the 10 car. 10 car is stopped in the apron right there, guys. On the entrance of pit road. Looks like that triggered the caution here. So the officials went from not throwing any cautions when there's cars stopped in the front stretch in the middle of the track to throwing a caution, under caution for a car stopped on the apron. So the officials are just being a little bit wacky tonight. But please bear with us. We will be going back green in a short period of time. We're going to take the start-finish line one more time right here, and as we cross this start-finish line, we're going to have 1 to go once.
A few guys back in the back look like they were going to fake pit road, so I mean, we saw the guys that actually, I believe a few guys maybe getting down pit road the last time, so there's still guys that are running down pit road quite a bit, like Chris Seymour, who's trying to get some damage fixed.
Yeah, Seymour. Before that wreck he had with the 16 and Justin Thompson, looks like the car is not fixed yet, but we got a lot of time left in this race. They're going to just keep plugging.
And working our way through turn number 2, off of turn number 2 onto the backstretch one more time before we go green flag racing here. And Steven, I know the restarts are really anticipated, like you're getting nervous in the car sometimes. Your heart starts beating real heavy. What's it like for you when you get in one of these restarts, especially if you're up front?
Well, the restarts here are really tough, and with how big of a gap you have to go between when the pace car pulls off and the start-finish line, it's really hard to anticipate it. And a lot of guys in the back, they start going when the pace car pulls off, or a lot of guys like to go early to get a big jump, and when they don't, that really stacks it up, and it's tough when you're about mid-pack, because there's a good chance you're going to get wrecked.
I know the anticipation for these restarts get really big as Richard Doucette gets a big jump and Brandon Bowie have a little bit of connection problems just like last restart, able to sneak away into the second position again with the 2-car of Kevin Berry sneaking away with 3rd position and the number 3 closing in on him as they go into turn number 1.
Justin Kirby and Matthew Wright side by side down through turns number 1 and 2 right there. Kirby's going to get that spot away from the 22. Here comes Dylan Duvall on the bottom of the number 2. Heading down into turn number 3, Duvall's going to try to make that move, but with the 2 right there outside of him, it's going to be hard for the 3 to get that run up off the corner that he needs to clear him. He's going to slide up just a little bit, try to squeeze that 2, just a tad. The 2 is going to fall behind him, move the 3 up to the 3rd position, and the number 2 back to 4th as he's going to put the block on just the Kirby. Kirby's going to back out of it right there. Ooh, right in front of the 22. 2 and 3 side by side once again with the crossover from the 2, Kevin Burrs.
I think they almost went 3 wide as now the 21 almost has somebody underneath him now for a pass as they're getting racy again up there in front of him.
The 21's going to get a great run off the top right there. He's going to clear the 22. Here comes Joe Holt. And then Airhog's car, the 15 right there, is going to clear the 22 as well. 22 losing a couple positions in the span of 1 lap right there. Here comes Armando Vargas on the top. He's trying to make positions up as well. He's really running that top well tonight, guys. The 12's almost going to get up alongside of the 22, and he is going to get up alongside the 22 right there, heading down into turn number 3. I'm not sure if he can complete that pass or not. The 12 definitely looks strong in that second group tonight.
Another car looking really strong. Brandon Bowie able to hang with Richard Doucette. It seems like he might be one of the tougher cars to beat, and he is not wheel manning, so that's something to keep your eye on for later tonight.
Yeah, it's pretty surprising right there. I mean, we said that Bowie's been great all season long, nice and consistent, but we haven't seen the pure speed out of that Ford machine all season up to this point, but it looks like he's running really strongly tonight. 3 Duvall's looking great as well. Kevin Burris is strong. I mean, the 21 of Kirby's really running well tonight as well, so a lot of cars right now that could contend for this win given the right circumstances and track positions. So it'll be a great race. 36 laps into it, still got a lot of racing to go here.
The 5 of Greg McKinney just barely getting around the 12 of Armando Vargas, and Armando was on the outside lane, but I believe the 12 had to check up for Matthew Wright, number 22. That 22 is still going backwards as he was just passed for 7th position by Greg McKinney.
Yeah, what happened at 22 is he's clipping that apron in turn 3 and 4, and it's really bumpy down there. And once you clip it, it really gets the car sideways, and you lose a lot of momentum. When this car is really all about keeping the momentum up around the track, and when you lose that, you're going to lose a couple spots every time you clip it.
Here comes the 1 of Jason Burstein on the bottom in turn number 1 and 2, trying to make the move on the 12 of Armando Vargas right there. Vargas is on the outside holding strong, but it looks like that car is starting to go away as the run goes on right now. Danny Hansen also in tow after that spin earlier on in the race. So those 2 cars right there, the 1 and the 8 nose to tail. That first caution that was brought out, these guys have rebounded quite nicely. Lap 38 right here, they're battling for a top 10 spot. So great rebounds for the 1 and the 8 so far in this race.
Now, if Anthony Koenig is racing in the second split, depending on where he is, and either way here, we do currently have what would be currently a new points leader, as Alex Scribner is all the way back to 13th, and Brandon Bowie, who was only 7 points back coming in, is sitting in the second position. So that's another battle to keep your eye on, is that close points battle.
Definitely so. This battle for the lead so far halfway through the season, we have 7 points separating the top 3, and I believe 12 back to 4th, and maybe only 30 back to 10th. So it is anyone's right now. If anything happens to any of these front runners, it leaves the door open for 5, 6, 7, 8 more guys to make up positions on them. So we have a great points battle going on right now. Just great to see in this Friday night showdown. We've had some great racing this season, and it really reflects in the point stand.
actually 23 points back, all the way to 8th position. Chris Seymour and Richard Doucette actually tied for that position, so a win for Richard Doucette will actually bump him up a little bit, as Chris Seymour is actually riding around probably about mid-pack right now. So that might be a position that Richard Doucette's actually going to be able to pull away with if he can get the win tonight.
Yeah, it looks like Danny Hansen back here. That car is starting to go away. He got really sideways off of turn 4 under the quarter panel of Vargas right there. Had the pull in the base that moved down to the apron, and he got really loose down there as well. And he's losing a lot of spots right now. John Button in the 5-hour energy car, he's trying to pass right now. And guys, I don't know, is it just me or is that 13 really high in the front? I mean, maybe that 13's got some stiffer springs in the front than the rest of this field tonight. It sure looks that way.
Yeah, his back end's also a lot lower too, so he might be running something in the rear that I'm sure a lot of people have hit on this season. But that front end is really high as well.
I mean, you can tell, Steven, you know, you run these things pretty much every week. Do you really want that nose that far up off the ground? Isn't that hurting, you know, the downforce and everything on?
With this build and the way the springs package is, usually it kind of actually helps to have it up. I personally don't run that way. I prefer to run the old style, and that's how I set up my car this week at this track. But I've seen a bunch of guys running with that front end up, and they've been pretty quick, I've seen. And you also tell you it's that back end down. If you look at the guy behind him, it's the 24 of Hudson. You see his car's not set up that same way, and they're both running about the same spot. So I don't really think it makes much of a difference, but I prefer to have it down.
There you go, everybody. That's Steven Azeni right there. He's taking a little bit of a break from iRacing for the next week or so, courtesy of the iRacing officials. So he's come up tonight and joined us in the booth. So that's Steve Azeni right there. Looking up front right now, Rich Doucette is pulling quite the lead on Brandon Bowie right now. It's up to almost 0.7 of a second. Looks like Doucette's car is definitely set up for the long haul. Bowie's starting to fall off just a little bit. Got that GFR car, Duval, right now. He's in the 3rd position, looking at the number 4's back bumper, heading down into 3 and 4. So Duval definitely looks like he's starting to come forward as the run winds on.
For sure, as he is actually closing in on Brandon Bowie really quick as he dives the inside lane. Bowie's going to have it at the line, I do believe, but he's able to clear him going into turn number 1 and able to get that great arc in so he can just pull away now.
So that puts Duval up to 2nd, Bowie back to 3rd, Kevin Burr is still in 4th, and 5th is Justin Kerr.
You guys have talked about Gale Force a lot. I don't think you've mentioned that Dylan Duvall is the newest member of Gale Force Racing as well, so he's on the same setup as those guys like Thompson and Kirby were.
Yeah, Duval, he's been moving around a little bit the past couple weeks. Recently, a Flipside member had a little bit of falling out there, so he's moved on. Didn't have a team for a little while, and then Nick Ottinger and Gale Force Racing picked him up. That's a great pairing right now. They were very strong last week in the A car at Atlanta. I saw that. You know, in the races, they were really quick, all of them, and it looks like they've got the speed again tonight at Chicago.
You know, it's really unique that they do more work on the cut car and stuff, or the A car for that DWC stuff, and I really don't think Nick is able to get. We'll have drivers that actually run this B car series. We'll have them go out in the Cup series. We'll put them in the correct setup, and they'll be like a tenth slower than Nick. So I mean, Nick has had really fast setups, and I mean, the other guys that are a tenth slower than Nick could actually hang with guys like Kevin King and them. So I mean, Nick has been really fast. I think he's been having a lot of connection issues, and that's what's made it so difficult for him to actually show what he's got the last few weeks. But Gale Force Racing has been really, really strong the last few weeks, and getting Dylan DeVool and all those guys, Justin Thompson coming over, that is really helping us out.
Yeah, Nick is. I think Nick's got to call up his internet provider and maybe ream him out a little bit because. He's had some terrible connection issues the past couple weeks. They dropped connection at New Hampshire's. Rich Doucette's going to get a piece of the wall right there. Dropped connection at New Hampshire, went a bunch of laps down, never got them back. And last week at Atlanta, dropped 8 laps down, got all of them back, got on the lead lap, and got wrecked. So the luck in the internet service has not been there for Ottinger this season. But he's still strongly, I believe he's 4th in points right now. I think he's definitely going to get to top 5 in this 2012 DWC season. So for Ottinger's rookie season, that's a great accomplishment. There's actually a lot of rookies up in DWC top 5 right now, Dakota. You got myself in 2nd, Kevin King 3rd, Pat Baldwin up there in 5th, and Ottinger in 4th. So DWC has been quite the rookie season this year. We've seen a lot of rookies in this B-Class Showdown this season 5 as well. I mean, guys like, looking back here, McKinney is somewhat new to it. You know, Zotner is kind of still new. I mean, there's some guys that haven't really been doing this long, but are really getting much better as the races go on, and they slowly creep their way up to the front, with every race that they put under.
Yes, and just want to mention, you saying you're in second in points. You are only 13 points back from Ray Alfala, so I mean, we may have a rookie championship if something goes wrong with him again, as it did at Michigan.
Well, the way I look at it, it's 13 without the drop week. Then you put the drop week in, and then I'm 25 behind. So I look at the real picture, and I know I'm 25 behind. That's what counts. So again, never know what can happen. Sim racing world is a funny world. Your computer could blow up and start smoking all over the place. There could be a lightning storm outside, and it could fry your internet and turn your power off, and you could be done. So unfortunately for Ray, at the Michigan International Speedway a couple races ago, he had major storms down in the Cape Coral, Florida area, and that took his power out. A week before that at Indy, my power went out as well, or a couple weeks before that my power went out, and Auditor's been having his fair share of problems as well. So we've all had our share of internet problems and power problems, but that's just how it is. In real life you might have battery go bad on you, and in the sim racing world your graphics card might fry itself. So it's just it's the same thing. It just, our real life counterpart has their problems, and we have our problems in the sim racing.
Yeah, true that. What's on the track? It's pretty much single file action here. Is Dylan DeVoe working on closing in on Richard Doucette, but having no luck right now. It seems like as Doucette's still just a little over, almost a second out.
Yeah, so we
Looking
got
right now, Jason.
A good battle for 9th place right now. Jason Burstein, just Brandon Gerald, and the 7 is Saunders looking around Vargas here, and here comes the 19 of Scribner on the high side.
Yeah, Steve, that's another thing about sim broadcasting, Steve. In real life, you got Mike Joy, Larry McReynolds, and DW. They're all side by side to each other, so they can see when the other guy's going to talk, but we're hundreds of miles away, and sometimes thousands of miles away, and it's very hard to have 3 broadcasters up here, but we're doing our best, everybody. Sometimes it's easy to talk over one another, so we're just going to try to make the best of it tonight. But like you were saying, Steve, that 10 car is definitely going to the back. Oh, as he bounds the wall right there, that's not going to help him. 10 car definitely has some damage, and he just added some more damage to that, so the 10 is going to lose a lot of positions right here. Bunton's going to go by, and the 10 is going to fall back there as well. I believe the 10 is actually, that's not for position, everybody. The 10 is 1 lap down, so that 10 just really is off the pace right now, and these lead lap cars are trying to work their way safely around him as he's bouncing off.
One thing to mention, that turn 4 wall which you just got, that's probably my least favorite corner exiting in any track on iRacing, is that turn 4 wall, the safer barrier, really sticks out, and you lose about a lane from the middle of the turn to the exit of the turn there. So if your car's pushing a lot and you get up high out of 4, you're basically going to kill the wall there, and you're going to have a lot of damage, and that's really going to hurt your night.
JD was talking about a similarity with that, and Darlington coming off turn 4, he was talking about the same thing. He hates that wall, it causes him so much trouble, and I got a little crack on that. That's pretty funny.
Yeah,
I'm looking back here at sorry to interrupt you, Stephen, but I'm looking back here at Danny Hansen, and I don't know if it's the damage that's affecting him, but John's going to have to get the in-car camera on board that car, because that 8 right now, he's in 22nd position, and that thing looks tight, it looks loose, and he's going to possibly get the piece of the wall here very soon. His hands are all over the place in that car.
And once you get damaged, the car handling really goes away, and this is one of the tracks where you got to have a good handling car. If you're tight, you're going to hit the wall. If you're loose, you're going to spin. It's really a good handling sensitive track, and if you don't have the right setup, you're going to struggle here mightily.
Now looking back up front, these guys up front are actually laying down pretty consistent lap times, or at least Dylan DeVoe is really low 7s, 31.7 lap times. As last time was a 2 and the time out of 3. But if you go up to Richard Doucette, looking at the lap times, he's running quite a few 6s. He ran 1 low 7, which was second to last time by, but last time by he was back down to a 6. So Richard Doucette constantly at least 0.04 of a second faster.
We also have a battle for 10th place that's been going on for a while now. Nick Saunders has been underneath Armando Vargas, but can't seem to clear him. On these old tires, that bottom time is really tight, and he's struggling to clear Vargas there, and that's holding up Scribner and Jeffrey Parker and John Button as well.
You can see when you have a side-by-side battle here, it really holds up cars behind you, and you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 car pack right there. The 7 and the 12 are really holding these guys up, but the 7's going to put the slide job on that 12 car's there. Oh, hang on, there goes the 26 in the wall.
Jeffrey Parker.
And the 15 of John Bunton's going to nail the inside wall, come back out the track. That's going to be caution flag number 4 on the night. Looks like the 26 had a massive wiggle off the corner. That 26 being Jeffrey Parker right there, another one of those Gale Force cars behind his teammate Scribner. I'm queuing it up right now. 26 coming up off the corner, just gets really sideways and overcorrects up into the wall, and Bunton just tries to miss him and just nails the inside wall right there. So tough luck for Bunton, just an innocent victim, but that 26 was just all sorts of sideways, and that really initiated the whole.
One of the hardest parts about this track is if you're cranking the wheel left trying to get it to turn in the center and coming off, you turn too much, you're not even gonna know you're on the straightaway, because when you're coming on the backstretch and you're still turning, you'll just spin the car because you didn't straighten out the wheel in time and it's still not turning. So it's either sometimes it's run into the wall or turn the car around without knowing it.
Yeah, I'm sure Parker would have liked to spun it into the grass right there and avoid any damage, but he did what he felt he had to do, and unfortunately it didn't quite work out for him. Chris Seymour in that 11 is going to pass all the lead lap cars. He's going to try to get his damage repaired again. Coming down to pit road, you have Rich Doucette, Dylan Duval, Kevin Burson third, Brandon Bowie fourth, and Justin Kirby holding down the 5th place yet for another lap right here. So Kirby having a strong run tonight in the top 5. I'm guessing we're going to see 4 tires and fuel, everyone. We had a long green flag run right there. I don't expect to see 2 tires after that many.
Yeah, without a doubt, and I do believe pitting here, they are good to go to the end on fuel mileage.
Looks like Rich Doucette is going to take 2 tires. So our leader coming in is going to be the only car to take 2 right there. Everyone else, Duval, Burris, Bowie, Kirby, and Wright are going to take 4. So I don't think Doucette's going to be too happy with that call after he sees what happened behind.
Getting word that they had actually set up for a green flag pit stop, and once they've put that command down there, it cannot be changed, or it can, but they kind of space changing that, so it was a 2-tire call, and hearing Richard Doucette come over the radio and say, "Whoops."
Doucette definitely did not want to do that. He says, like you said, he said it had it set for green flag stops and forgot to change it to 4. And he's not very happy about that right now. So we're just going to have to see how important tires are right now. At 6 might not be good for a couple laps, but I'm guessing that he's going to hope for these tires to even out. And maybe those tires will be able to cool down enough to where he can keep up with these guys after a couple.
It also looks like E.G. O'Rourke stayed out to get a lap led there. I'm sure he wanted to be mentioned here, so I figured I'd get him in there. And these tires do even out after a while. If he's going to need a couple runs here, maybe hold off Duval, and he'll be able to stay up there. It's just going to take about 10-15 laps for them to settle in and even out.
Yeah, Steven, JD and I were talking about this Dave Kamer's new tire model. We're going to be on version 5 here shortly, and we're going to talk about that after we come back from break. JD's telling me to go to commercial, so we're going to go to commercial. Lap 61 Chicagoland. Don't go away. We'll be right.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. And we are back at Chicagoland Speedway Friday Night Showdown here, working another caution here on the track. 26 car, Jeffrey Parker, a part of that one. Damage fixed back out on the track. Bigger news, the number 6 machine, 2 tire change. Crew chief, being a huge mistake, was calling for 4, only put 2 on and sent him out. Let's go back up to the booth for more with Dakota Ehrman and Michael Conti.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting to see what the 6 car can do as the pace car pulls off. Waiting to see when the 6 is going to go. I guarantee he's going to try to stack them up a little bit. The 3 is inches in front of the 6, so the 6 takes off. So he's got the 3 having to check up so that the 3 can get back behind him so he does not pass him before the start-finish line or the green flag, so he does not get a black flag. So it's really smart thinking by the 6, as the 6 is really clear going into turn number 1, so we'll see how fast the 3 can run down the 6 on 2 tires.
The big loser right there is going to be the 4, Brandon Bowie. He's still having continuous connection problems. That 4 got kind of stacked up on the restart right there, and he's going to fall out inside the top 5 for the first time tonight as we're coming to lap 64 of 100. In the wall he goes right there. The 4 is going to get a piece of the wall. He's going to tap it up off the corner. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th position for Bowie. Almost back to 8th right there. So Bowie's car is not getting going on this restart quite like it has. Oh, is the Holt machine's going to slide up the track right in front of Bowie right there. He's lucky Bowie cut him a little bit of a break, but Bowie's going to try to make the crossover right there. Coming down into turn number 3, Bowie's trying to make up some lost track position he got that he lost on this restart. And he's going to start with the 15 right there as, again, he blinks in and out of the circle.
And it's a Gale Force Racing show up the front, 2nd and 3rd place, filled with Gale Force Racing cars. Dylan DeVole and Justin Kirby sitting 2nd and 3rd as we have a pass for the lead. Dylan DeVole underneath Richard Doucette as they are side by side coming off of turn number 2 and into the backstretch with Justin Kirby following underneath, following the 3 of Dylan DeVole. As they head side by side again into turn number 3, can he clear him? Dylan DeVole is able to clear Richard Doucette, and almost contact between Kirby and Doucette coming off of turn number 4.
Hey, Duvall made a great move up off at turn number 2, got the run down the backstretch, was able to clear the number 6 machine. So the 6 is going to relinquish the lead for the first time tonight. Doucette has been the dominant car here tonight. He's going to try to take it back over. He's looking under the Duvall car right there. Duvall slides up high off the corner. Not going to make the move right there. I'm hearing that Amardo Vargas is starting to fall back as well. Vargas in that number 12 machine right there, that Lowe's machine. He's getting passed by Joe Holt. Just got a whole half a car width of the apron right there, so that's not going to help him. 12 is going to get a huge run up off the corner and clear. Here comes Doucette for the lead. He's going to look low, but he's not going to be able to make it happen down to turn number.
Justin Kirby kind of getting stacked up a little bit there. I think he maybe having some trouble, or maybe the tires are falling off a little bit. Here's a surprising run for the number 22 sitting in 4th of Matthew Wright, a guy that we don't really hear a lot from, but I mean he's up there making some noise right now.
Matt Wright has had a great run tonight. He's, like you said, he's up in the 4th position, really looking strong right now as the 4 Bowie gets another piece of the wall. So Bowie almost outside of the top 10 right now. I'm looking at the race scoring right now. Bowie's in 10th coming across the line. He might be to 11th now. Here comes Richard Doucette right in the quarter panel of the number 4 machine. Gonna get him a little bit sideways right there. Oh, Duvall shuts the door down the backstretch. He's gonna block him down at the turn number 3 right here. Doucette, I don't think, really appreciated that move.
It looks like Doucette's 2 tires are starting to settle in now. He's able to compete with these Gale Force guys again. Took him about 5-10 laps, like I figured it would, just that car to come back in. He's also the only guy I've seen work that apron so far this race. No one else has been able to go down there without getting the car really loose.
Looks like that 6 car is really running well right now. I mean, 2 tires, guys. If he's got 20-something laps on those tires and he's able to keep this track position, that car must be handling really good right now. Oh, he's going to make a block on the 21 of Justin Kirby. Big block down the backstretch. Kirby's still going to send it in there. Kirby's going to get a piece of the apron right there. He's going to keep it straight. Doucette's going to keep the position. Kirby is still going to be in 3rd. Here comes Burst looking for 3rd right here down the front stretch.
I know Kirby to be a very level-headed driver, but after that, I would not be surprised if you see a bump going on one of these corners. But for sure, fun racing is what it looks like, and really awesome. As a 21 trying to close on the 6, Dylan DeVoe able to pull away as they block and race and slide around, trying to hit each other and get, race for position with Kirby and Doucette.
Yeah, Kirby right there lost a lot of track position. He's trying to get back into his group. He did not lose any positions on the track, but he lost a couple car lengths to the 6 car, and it's really hard to make that up when you're running really comparable times, which everyone is tonight. So Kirby's going to try to get that draft down the front stretch, get that slipstream, and take it into turn number 1 right now. Steven, we were talking about during commercial break heat cycles, and with this new tire model, it seems like heat cycles really take a toll on these tires. What have you found with this B car, and how do heat cycles affect the longevity of these tires?
Well, one tire you really want to focus on is the right rear tire, and I've seen a couple of examples here tonight where if you see one guy get really loose in the center of a turn, then the next couple laps that he's going to be really loose. It's going to keep going. It takes a while to cool the tire down. Basically, what you got to do is you got to run really soft and can't really push it at all, which is really a bad place to be as a driver because you really want to push the car as hard as you can. But basically, when the tire heats up, it's really if the right front, the car's going to push. The right rear, the car's going to get loose, and it's really tough as a driver to maintain it. And if you do get loose, then you're really going to have a lot of problems with the handling.
Could definitely see that tonight, especially with that 8 car Danny Hansen, the buoy machine right there, the buoy machine right there, the number 4 car. He's falling to the back as well. He's still in the 10th position. A little bit of contact down the front stretch with Joe Holt and Jason Burstein right there. So Burstein and Holt making a little bit of contact down the front stretch. No harm, no foul. They're going to battle coming out of turn number 2.
Like we got a battle for 5th here, right? Taking over the spot from Vargas. Those two are teammates, and they've been battling hard the last couple laps here. If I were them, I'd bet they're on team speed together. It's just get in line and try to run down the guys in front of them.
It looks like you definitely want to get in line and run single file. That's the way to make up time.
Yeah, sorry, Conte, for cutting you off there, but up front, looks like Dylan DeVoe has been closed down by Richard Doucette. So Doucette able to get to his bumper. Now, can he do anything with those 2 tires?
Now, I'm not quite sure what Doucette has under that hood, but I know he's got a really fast car. It looks like tires, he's on 2 tires right now. I think that's really what's holding him back from really passing the Duval machine and really, expanding on a lead. But for having 2 tires, that 6 machine is really running well. And, we've got 26 laps to go. Rich has plenty of time to set up a move on that number 4, or on the number 3, excuse me. So Rich doesn't have to be hostile right now. He can just kind of sit back and let things play out, see what he wants to do.
His car was really good in that last run. I think he's about half-tenths faster than the rest of the field. And after the ball's left side start wear out, and left side doesn't really wear out as much here in iRacing, so it's not really as big an issue that he took too. But after they even out, he's going to be fast, and he should be able to get the ball here by the end. And here he goes, making a move now.
Here comes Doucette down into turn number 1. Duval's going to get that big run up off the top. Doucette gets a little bit loose in the center. Duval's going to hold him off for now. He's going to pull him down the backstretch. Doucette's going to try to get a little bit of that side draft available down the backstretch. He's going to send it into the corner. Duval's going to try to make the crossover right here. Coming off the corner, Doucette gets a piece of the apron. So does Duval. Here comes Duval. Duval's got the run right here. I don't know. I don't think he's got enough momentum. Meanwhile, in 3rd place right now, we got a battle. Justin Kirby, Kevin Burst, and still up front. Here comes Duval. He's looking low down to turn number 1. Doucette's going to pinch him just a little bit. The 3 car is going to hold it on the bottom. 3 and 6 side by side for the lead. Contact off turn number 2. They're going to keep it straight right there. The 6 is going to try to clear the 3 down in the corner. Number 3. Oh, it's not going to happen right there. The 6 is trying to pinch him. Duval and the 6 make contact, and they're going to straighten it out and keep it in one piece. Wow, that's good racing.
That's really exciting to watch, and it's definitely exciting to be in a race like that with somebody else where you can actually make contact and not wreck each other. That's really something special there. A lot of times you see that happen, and the 6 would be going around. But you got 2 pros here battling. They're some of the best, so they know what they're doing.
Here he comes, back on the inside. The 3 loosened up the 6 right there. Oh, and we have a caution out. That's going to end that battle right there. I'm looking right now, and I'm still looking. We're going to try to find this for you, everybody. Big wreck. Brandon Bowie around off of turn number 2. We were documenting him going to the back in a hurry. The 4 car right there. Looks like he might have gotten a little bit of help from Joe Holt, possibly. Yeah, just a little bit of help off turn number 2, and Holt just sent them around right there. The 4 car going to get a little bit of damage hitting that outside wall, and that's really going to put an end to whatever chance he had tonight at keeping that top 10. That 4 is running in the top 5 the whole race, guys, and it looked like that thing just started to drop off like a rock the second half of the...
I think his connection issues might have played a part in that, and if anyone else saw that, Danny Hansen sneak through there between the outside wall and his car, that was pretty close, tight squeeze there. Surprised he made that work.
Well, what can I say? I taught him everything. No, I'm just kidding. I didn't teach him anything, but good run for Danny tonight. You know, I know his car isn't running well. I'm listening to him in my other ear, and he's not quite happy with it, but it was a jerk job setup, and it's definitely showing. So Danny Hansen, J Show Motorsports, not showing what they want to tonight. That's okay. He'll get him Sunday night here in the Cup car. Meanwhile, coming down pit road, Rich Doucette, Dylan Duval, Justin Kirby up to 3rd, Kevin Burris 4th, and Armando Vargas still in the 5th position right there with his teammate Matt Wright in tow. Jason Burstein, a spin back to 7th place, so a great run for Burstein. McKinney is in 8th. Joe Holt was 9th, and as they come across the start-finish line, everything's going to cycle around. So we're going to see who can get the better pit stop right here. Doucette and Duval get into their pit boxes cleanly. So does Burris, Wright, and Vargas got in there quite well also. So we're going to see right here 2 tires for Doucette again. So Doucette is going to have some pretty old tires on the left side of his car right there, guys.
More 2-tire calls.
I guess he likes how the 2 tires fill in that car. We also have Alex Scribner on 2, Matt Wright on 2, McKinney on 2, and I believe Duval is going to be the first car on 4 tires.
Going back to double check and see if Matthew Wright actually took 4 tires, and watching his pit stop, right sides only. So 2-tire stop for Matthew Wright as well, and he's going to come off of pit road in 3rd position, right behind Alex Scribner.
We're going to see how this 2-tire strategy plays out. We're going to have about 20 laps to go when this caution is over and the restart, and we get a restart. So before we get back going green, everybody, the Friday Night Showdown is going to take possibly our last break of the night. Don't go anywhere. We're going to have less than 20 laps to go when we get back here at the Chicagoland Speed.
And we are back at Chicagoland Speedway. We're working the short side of the stick here at Cowboy. 81 laps in the book, 100 on the board. And I'll tell you what, it's shaping up to be quite a night here. Some real pit strategy working out. A bunch of them out here on 2 tires, some on 4 tires. Let's go back to the booth. Dakota Ehrman and Michael Conti.
And Rich Doucette's going to mow the lawn right there. I'm not quite sure where he's going. Maybe some connection problems right there, but Doucette's going to mow the lawn down the front stretch. Not sure what that was all about, but no harm, no foul. That splitter still looks like it's in one piece. So just to get you guys caught up, we're on lap 82 of 100 tonight. Rich Doucette has been the dominating car, the dominator, if you want to call him that. With a couple of challengers, we've had Brandon Bowie give him a run for his money, and Duval's been giving him all he wants the past 25 laps or so. We have 2-tire strategy up here for the 6, the 22, the 19, the 5, and the 3 is the first car on 4 tires. So the 3 Duval is the first car on 4 tires. and he has really been the only car to give the 6 of Doucette challenge in the last 25 laps. On this restart, 3 is going to have to get a good restart, guys, if he wants to get up to that 6 and make a move.
And I was talking, I went and listened on the radio, and Dylan DeVole talking under the last caution, saying that the 6 was definitely slower on 2 tires. It was more of an aero issue with him, and I also got to listen to Scribner's radio, because I do have those up here with me, and Scribner also very confident with this call, so watch for those 2 Gale Force cars to maybe make a charge.
And Doucette's going to bring him down slow. There he goes. Good restart for the 6. 22 gets a halfway decent restart as well. It's the best restart I've seen on the top so far tonight. Matt Wright has really put on a great show tonight. That number 22 car, he's done a fantastic job. He's going to slot to second. Alex Scribner is going to be third. And here comes Duval on 4 tires. Duval is digging on the bottom. Duval from 5th to 4th in 1 corner. And he's making a big run down the backstretch right now. He's going to look at Scribner going down the turn.
And Kevin Burris is going to follow him under McKinney, and that's for the 5th spot.
Here comes Duval.
Kirby.
Big run up off the corner. Big run up off the corner for the 3. He's going to take the inside of the 19 right there. Kevin Burris on the apron. Justin Kirby trying to make up lost ground as well. 27 laps to go here tonight, 17 laps to go here tonight, everybody. I'm sorry, my math is just really bad. Here we go. 19 gets a little bit loose off the corner right there. Dylan Duval makes up that position, so Duval up to 3rd. He's closing in on Matt Wright really quickly, and that 6 of Doucette is still out there in grasp for that number 3. 22 gets a little piece of the wall right there. 3's going to get a big run down the front stretch, everybody. He's going to make a move down into turn number 1. Duval is going to make a move on 2nd right here. I believe he's going to have him side by side down through turns number 1 and 2. 4 tires are going to prevail. 3 car up to...
You got to wonder, is Richard Doucette kind of thinking that his call was so great right now or not? I mean, there's enough laps where Dylan DeVole can run up to Doucette and pass him, but Doucette might be up to speed with him by the time he gets around. And remember, Duval actually not very happy with his car up front, so that's another thing to look at.
Well, I think what Duval wants to do is he wants to get tucked up right under that 6 car and get him a little bit loose if he can. That 6 car's left side tire is really worn out. The 6 makes a big slide up off turn number 2 right there. 6 cars' tires are gone. So that 3 really needs to start hustling right now. He's going to have 14 laps to go at the line. That's enough time for him to get there. Oh, I don't know if he can make the pass, but the 3 of Duval, he's an aggressive driver. If anyone can do it, Duval can do it. And he definitely wants to get his first win tonight in the ETV Friday Night Showdown. Duval has run very strong all season long, and he's destined to get a win eventually. Tonight might be...
I think Duval's really advantaged here. He needs this thing to stay green. If we get a couple cautions here, I think that's really going to give Doucette time to cool his tires down, and he's going to have a good chance of holding him off here, especially if we can get a good jump on the restart. I think Duval's only chance here. This thing stays green to the end here. He's really reeling him in.
Matthew Wright.
Half a tenth for Duval the last lap right there.
Yeah, Matthew Wright moving back a few spots there. He's back all the way back up to 5th position. And Alex Scribner's still holding on 3rd, but Kevin Berry's in the 2, is closing in pretty quickly here. So, I mean, he's 2 his bumper. It's whether he can make the pass or not as he comes on the inside coming off of turn number 2. Not able to quite get there, but he is there now in the middle of the straightaway and going to be inside going into turn number 3.
Down into turn number 3. Burris is going to slide up the track a little bit. 19 sees that happening. He's going to give him the room. Side by side, down the front stretch. The 2's going to take the apron the shortest way around this track. They're going to be 3 wide as they come on to the banking. 22, Matt Wright's trying to make his way up through this field as well. He got a good restart, but he's starting to fall back a little bit. Looks like those tires are starting to even out for the 22 car as the 3 of Duval is making up a lot of time on the 6 right now. He is closing in fast.
And here comes Scribner for 4th on Matthew Wright here. It looks like he got a nice crossover move there out of 2 there and got a nice run off the high line. And see if he can make the bottom work here coming out of 4.
Duval gets so close to the wall off of turn 4. He's going to take the shortest way around the track once again. You get real loose on that apron, but if you got the car to get down there, you can definitely make some time. And Duval and Doucette are definitely making time down there right now. Last time by, Duval at a 31.42, Doucette at a 31.43. So 1/100th separates your top 2 right there. They're running identical times.
You guys think it's going to be kind of upsetting for Duval? Those 4 tires just not working out for him. You guys think maybe he's thinking back, maybe I should have went with 2 now because his tires are maybe he cooked them just trying to come up to the field, or Doucette's able to cool his down by just riding around up front.
2/100th a lap, 2/100ths advantage right there for Doucette. So Doucette is starting to slowly pull away from Dylan Duval. I know Duval's trying to make all he can out of those tires right there, but it looks like that aero-tight condition that we've seen a lot this season in a mile and a half is starting to bite the number 3.
Yeah, it looks like Doucette's starting to pull away here. Looks like he's opened up another gap there, and he actually beat him by almost half a tenth there. So it looks like he might have this thing in the bags here if we don't get a caution, or unless something happens there with his car. But I don't see that happening.
That's probably one of the more embarrassing things. Like, I think Doucette is honestly embarrassing the field right now. 2 tires and he's holding the lead and setting sail on everybody. That's something that doesn't usually happen. I don't even think we've had a Crawford do that.
Yeah, those Wilmot cars are strong. I mean, you know, they are great drivers over there, but the setups are absolutely amazing. Jared Crawford, all of them, David Cater, they put in a lot of time into their B car program, and it definitely shows. We really haven't seen anyone be able to beat them on a consistent basis. You know, you get your one-off winners here and there, but, you know, you get a lot of pretenders, but no real contenders. Look for these Wilmen guys to be up there in the championship once again. 4 car, Brandon Bowie, I'm hearing, is going around once again. Caution's going to be out. Now, this is going to be interesting, as it looked like Jeffrey Parker's rarely going to miss him. Oh, it was the 20, barely misses the 4 as well, so Brandon Bowie is going to bring up a caution right here. We're working lap number 94. So I don't expect to see anyone pit right here, but we're going to have a couple lap shootout at the end. This is going to get exciting real.
Looks like we're going to get 2 or 3 laps here and go green, and definitely no one's going to pit here. But this gives Duval another shot here. If he can really get a good restart, he's going to have a shot at Doucette. But if Doucette gets that big jump that we're all anticipating, he's going to be gone. This is also going to be one of the craziest restarts we'll see all season here.
One of the things I've noticed on the restarts is you'll notice if Doucette starts to check up the 3, he's not going to be able to see that in time. He's going to pull a little bit ahead of the 6, and then he'll have to kind of brake a little bit to get back behind the 6 so he can see the 6 take off, and also so he is not in front when the green flag flies. So what the 6 does is as soon as the 3 hits the brakes, he takes off. But on these old tires, what I've noticed, the 6 spinning the tires like he's in first gear and trying to take off. So that could play into this. It's really hard to not spin the tires on the restart, but the 3 faking the pit road there, Dylan DeVol, that's what I was watching, so sorry for that space of my silence.
That's quite right, Dakota. It's been a great race so far, great broadcast for us. I'm having a blast up here calling this thing, and you know, we had a crazy restart here last season. We saw Jared Crawford get spun around in the last lap. We saw a lot of guys get spun around. Justin Thompson was your eventual winner. And it looks like we're setting up for the same thing once again here. So maybe a little bit of a deja vu for some of these repeat drivers here from last season. They know what to expect, so they're going to have the upper hand. Guys like Doucette, Matt Wright, I believe, was in the race last season. Scribner might have seen it as well. They're going to know really what to expect. But guys like Duval, Kevin Burrs, Justin Kirby, I don't believe they were in that race. So I don't think they really know what they're in for just quite.
Yeah, these late race restarts are really tough. I've been a part in a bunch of these in this series, and I've usually run about 12th place when we get to this point, and you get top 10 out of it. But if you're running back there, it's really hard to tell when they're going, and I usually go when the guy in front of me is going, and if the person in front of you goes and the field's not going, it's going to cause a huge stack up, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a wreck about maybe 13th place on back here on this restart, but hopefully we don't see that and we can finish this thing under green.
We already saw the 6 stack up the restart a couple times tonight. With guys trying to jump the restart back of the pack. So this last restart, everyone's going to be amped up completely, and I think you're going to see people trying to jump it even more. So I'd really be surprised if we don't see some sort of stack up at the back. I don't know if it's going to result in a caution or not, but there might be some damaged race cars coming across the start-finish line taking the restart. I believe we're going to get 2 to green right here, as the pace car is going to come across the front stretch 2 to green. So we're going to be restarting in lap 98. So we're gonna have a 3-lap shootout to the end. So a green, white checker plus 1. So 3 laps, that's not a whole lot of time, but you never know what can.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch up here, though. Wish I was in it, but I don't know. It's in between Doucette and Duval here. Unless Kevin can get a really good jump from 3rd, you might have something for him. I know he wasn't falling off too bad in that last run there, but I think those are the 3 that you're going to have to watch here in the start. Other than that, it's going to be a battle for that 4th on back between those guys that took 2 last caution, and Justin Kirby has been coming through the field after pit stops.
Yeah, Justin Kirby definitely has a good car tonight, guys. I just don't think he's got the track position, but, you know, like I said, in 3 laps, anything can happen. He might be able to get a couple positions right here. I'm not sure if he can get to the leader. Yeah.
Excuse me, guys. Excuse me. I got some paperwork here. John just sent me upstairs. I need to give it to Steve Senzi over here. Steve, we need you to just sign on that dotted line down there. You can start Monday night. See me before the race. That'll be about 8 o'clock. So just bring the paperwork downstairs when you're ready.
10-4.
Hired
There
us
you
a new
go,
broadcaster, guys.
You're right on air. That's a first for ETV. JD, I don't think you've ever hired anyone live. Correct me if
I'll tell you what, you keep bringing these cowboys in here, guys like Steve Senzi. This dude sounds pretty darn good on the broadcast. I'm going to put him to work.
Well, thank you.
All right, guys. Hey, 3 laps to go here, boys. This is going to be quite the shootout. Take it away.
Alrighty. 3 laps to go, as JD said. I'm excited. Steve is excited, and I'm sure Dakota's excited as well. Now, Dakota's got a couple horses in this race. He's got that 19 car Scribner up there, and also the 21. So a couple guys I know he definitely wants to do well right here. So he's going to be on the edge of his seat. Fortunately, my car is a little bit further back in the pack, and hasn't been the superb night he's wanted. So I'm not really worried about him. I am just really excited to see who's going to come out on top. Can Doucette get the restarts he's been getting all night, or is Duval going to pull something out of his hat and surprise Doucette? I'm not sure. It looks like Doucette's really laying back off the pace car right now. And from what I've seen in my almost 3 years on iRacing, when someone lays back that far, they're going to put the hammer down real quick and try to jump.
That's exactly what I should be doing if I was in Doucette's position here. You really got to get that big jump, and you got to go before the pace car pulls off. If you could time it right, you can get a 3 to 4 tenth lead here, and that's exactly what he wants. That wouldn't stack up the field as much either, so we can see some good racing here towards the back here, going green.
And Conti, I got to pull for one more guy. I got to remember Dylan DeVoe is a Gale Force Racing teammate of mine, and he's fighting for the win right now. So we'll see as Richard Doucette bringing him out slowly. No wheel spin. He's able to get a good restart, but Dylan DeVoe able to hang with him there. He's right behind him on his heels, so we'll see if they can do anything. Going into turn number 1, coming up across the apron. Argonaut's corner, the 3 is able to dive that thing in, but just the 6 is able to pull away just a little bit, and the 6 didn't even have to arc his corner as much.
And there's a caution, boys.
Caution's out. Caution's out. Race is over. Rich Doucette's going to win it in an anticlimactic finish right there. I'm trying to see where the caution was sprung. Looking for any. Oh, it looks like Jeffrey Parker around on the bottom of 1 and 2 right there. Looks like there was some contact. Three wide into turn number 1 and 2. E.J. O'Rourke, McKinney, and Parker, and unfortunately Parker got the short end of the stick. Really excited to see what was going to happen on that last restart, but unfortunately we didn't get to see it. Rich Doucette is going to get a win here tonight at the Chicagoland Motor Speedway. Doucette, I think we can all agree that Doucette had the dominant car. He was on 2 tires right there at the end, had 40-something laps on his left sides, and was still just as fast as anyone. So great run by Doucette. Great job to Dylan Duval in 2nd, Kevin Burris 3rd, Scribner 4th, and Matthew Wright with a strong run up to 5th. So great showing for that 22 car.
Yeah, it's really nice to see Doucette get a win here. I mean, he's been upstaged by his teammates Jared Crawford, Chad Lawton all season long, and it's really good to see him get a win. I'm happy for him.
And I'll tell you what, that wreck actually started on the restart. Watching Jeffrey Parker on the restart, nobody went in front of him. He got shot out to the outside lane to avoid hitting somebody, and they come 3 or 4 wide at the restart. I'm watching 3, 4 wide, the 23, the 17, the 4, and then the 11 and the 26. I mean, they were 4 wide going in turn number 1 before you actually saw the 3 wide that caused the wreck with the 17 moving up into the 26. So I mean, they were going 4 wide and 3 wide, and I mean back to back. That was going to be a really insane run to the finish if they could hold on to it.
It definitely was right there. Unfortunately, we won't be able to see how that's going to turn out, but don't you worry, everyone out there watching. I'm pulling up the schedule of this B-Car series, and we have a lot of great tracks coming up. I'm looking right now. We're at Chicago this week. This is week 7 out of 12, so we're at the halfway point, just a little bit past it right now. So halfway through the season. Next week is Kentucky Motor Speedway. Under the lights, that track has absolutely no grip. These cars are going to be slipping and sliding around that track upwards of 180 miles per hour down into turn number 1. So guys are going to be really battling hard there. Dover, going back to Dover for week 9, we had an 80-something lap run there last season. Surprised the heck out of all of us, and that was a great race as well. A lot of pit strategy in that one too. After that, we got the wild card at Daytona, another night race under the lights right there. You never know what's going to happen there. After that, week 11, Charlotte Motor Speedway. Another night race is week 11. So that's going to be your semi-final round for this B-Car Series. A lot of guys up in the points right now really like that track, so that's going to be a great race. And rounding out the season, everybody, Michigan International. So that's almost like a Daytona in itself. So great tracks left on the schedule right here. Still anyone's championship to win or lose right now, as that top 10 is separated by less than 30 points. So we've got a great season coming up, and I'm really looking forward to the last 5.
Yeah, Michael Conti as Richard Doucette crossing the line for the win. Dylan DeVoe giving a good victory bump there. But talk about Dover, I might have to do second split updates from inside the car there, but we'll see. Running through your order real fast, Richard Doucette bringing it home with the win. Like we said, remember he is like 4th or 5th. I believe it actually might be 6th in points. So good for him. Dylan DeVoe bringing it home 2nd. Not a regular in the series that I know of. Kevin Murray's in 3rd. And Alex Scribner, your points leader, sitting in the 4th position. So not a bad day for him, depending on where Anthony Kernick finished in the second split, because I know he is racing. And Matthew Wright, we don't see much of him, but he is able to bring it home with a top 5.
Alrighty, well, we're going to take one last commercial break right here. We're going to come back with some post-race interviews. We're going to get a couple of the front runners to come and join us and give us an account of what happened tonight. So we're going to send away. Don't go away. We'll have post-race interviews on the flip side.
Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980.
Alrighty, welcome back, everybody. We have some of the top finishers right here from Chicagoland Motor Speedway. I'm going to start off with your winner tonight, Rich Doucette. So, Rich, en route to that win right there, you led 82 of the 100 laps. Now, we saw you were playing some quote-unquote wacky pit strategy, staying out on 40-lap-old left-side tires. Just tell us what was going through your mind when you were making that stretch.
Well, Mike, thanks a lot. I'd like to start off by saying thanks to all the ETV guys for putting us on every week. To that strategy call, to be honest with you, it was a big mistake. I had anticipated some green flag stops and went ahead and told the crew to only take right sides on green flag stops, and the crew didn't get the message to put the left sides on under green. I mean, under the yellow there. So that was kind of a mistake.
So just tell us about what you felt about the racing tonight. Maybe talk about the the aero loose and aero tight condition. We definitely saw that come into fact.
It was better than it had been racing-wise, racing around the guys. There were less cautions than we've had the past couple weeks, which was good. The aero loose was real bad. If you got right up on someone's bumper, you could get them really loose. The aero tight, for me, wasn't as bad. As I spent a lot of the race in the lead. Except when me and Dylan Duval were mixing it up quite a bit, and it was a little more noticeable there.
All right, so tell us about those last maybe 25, 30 laps or so racing with Duval. What was going through your mind when you had your one and only challenge?
Well, to be honest with you, it was a real big brawl between me and Dylan. He was driving good but hard. Yeah, we made a little contact off of 2 one time, but we both got through it pretty good, and it was fun racing. It was hard. Dylan's a pretty clean competitor, so you kind of know what to expect from him. I spent a lot of time around him racing, so it was pretty good. He's the only one that I really had much of a battle with all night, which is a compliment to him because I think we had one hell of a piece tonight.
All right, Rich. Well, I appreciate you coming on here. Just before we let you go, just give one last shout out to the sponsors and everyone that makes it happen.
I'd like to start off by saying thanks to J.D. Laird. The Deer came on the car this season, and he's also on my pro car, so I'd like to thank him at JDR Graphics, jdrgraphics.com, and of course the guys on Wheelman Inc. putting together beast setups and everything every week, and a big thanks goes to Jared Crawford, who puts in a lot of time and didn't even race tonight and helped me out with the setup. So thanks a lot to Jared Crawford, all the Wheelman guys, and JDR Graphics.
Alrighty, well that's Rich Doucette, your winner tonight. Dakota, I believe you've caught up with Dylan.
Yes, sir. Standing here with Dylan DeVoe, your second place finisher. And Dylan, I know it seemed like you were a little bit faster for quite a while when Rich took those 2 tires, but after a while it seemed like he evened out, and on that last little run where we had a green stretch, you were able to run to the field. You got so close, but then he started evening out. What were you thinking at that point?
I was thinking, man, I wish I had a little more in me to go get him, but he was really fast tonight. Definitely better than everyone else. I was just a little bit too tight there in that run, and I couldn't get close enough to make a shot at him. And it was fun racing him, though. We raced hard most of the race. Clean for the most part. I think I may have made a mistake, got into him a little bit off turn 2. But it was a lot of fun. We were racing really hard, and it was clean.
Yeah, I want to mention that that hard racing, that little bit of contact. Is there any heat, kind of brewing between you guys, or was that all fun and games?
It was more fun and games. I was a little bit irritated that I couldn't stay in front of them and pull away, but it's just because they're so fast. Rich was extremely fast the whole race and has been every time I've raced with him.
Well, Dylan, I mean, you came with a fast car, you unloaded, your team had fast cars all night. It sucks that Justin Thompson was your teammate, I know, running to middle of the pack. He was charged to the field. He got caught up in contact, and a few other of your teammates getting caught up in contact, but you guys all had fast cars. Who you want to thank for that tonight?
First of all, I'd like to thank Gale Force Racing. I didn't have a whole lot of time to put any work in on the setup, and they all got together and made a really, really good setup. It's really big to be able to even come close to running the way Wheelmen do every week, and to have a car good enough 2 weeks in a row to compete with them, it's great. Also, I'd like to thank Wheelstand Pro and JDR Graphics.
All right, well, thank you, Dylan DeVoe. We're going to send it to Steven Azeni, who is standing by with your third place finisher, Kevin Burries.
Kevin, you had a good car tonight and came home third. Describe your race for us, please.
Yeah, the car was awesome. I want to thank all the guys at Nexus for helping me, point me in the right direction. Just a little too snug to keep up with Duval and Doucette on the first part of a run. I feel, I was set up more for a longer run, but still I was lacking just a little bit of speed to keep up with the set. He was just, on his own little world. Uh, but all in all, I'm very thankful for the opportunity to run with these guys up front.
Yeah, it looks like you ran better than your Nexus teammates tonight. Was you guys run the same setup, or was there anything different going on there?
Truly and honestly, I don't know. I believe me and Matthew were pretty close setup-wise. I tend to like the car a little bit freer, and that kind of hurt me in the beginning of a run.
All right, anyone else you want to thank before we send it to Dakota?
Just the guys back at Nexus, and everybody just helped me along the way.
All right, thank you. Now we're going to send it to Dakota Airman with he's caught up with Anthony Carnage.
Yeah, Anthony Kernick standing here. We had to get the second split winner via intercom here, kind of some kind of communication tool that JD knows it very well that I don't. But Anthony, man, you won the race, if I have my information correct, and you are the new points leader in the ATV Friday Night Series. How do you feel about that, bud?
Yeah, that actual race was one of the, I did a Clint Boyer comeback. I spun on the backstretch about halfway. And then there was a caution about 10 laps later, and then I stayed out, so I was in the lead again. And then the setup I was running was just so good I could keep with the guys on old tyres. And then with 20 laps to go, I took a 2-tyre call, and then the race pretty much played into my hands. And yeah, it was a lot of cautions at the end, so it's just a matter of getting the restarts down and just holding off the guys behind on 4.
Now, Brendan Mercer told us on the radio show that you were pretty excited to have the points lead going into last week, but to lose it last week and then you come in this week and you're second in points and you take the points lead back. Are you as excited? Is the nervousness kind of gone? Are you able to contend it more at a competitive level again?
Yeah, last week I was caught up in trouble at Richmond, so I had a car for top 5. So yeah, it's nice to get it back. I haven't got some so competitive tracks coming, so it's just a matter of trying to, especially Daytona, trying to just keep up the front and keep on the pace.
And I know you, I remember looking at it this morning, you were up about 6 a.m. my time, or between 6 and 8 a.m. my time, Eastern time, and you're down here after 6 p.m., which is 12 hours later. You're back on the track winning a race. How do you do that?
I just really enjoy iRacing. Yeah, these races I have to get up at 7:30 a.m. my time, so it's pretty hard, but it's nice to be winning. Make it worth getting up at that time and not just finishing at the back.
Well, who makes it happen for you, bud?
The guys over at Nexus for picking me up last season made a really good decision to pick me up, and I think they've almost got me up to 4,000 I rating, and also thanks to Shirley for that awesome setup, holding off guys on 2 old tyres that when they were on 4.
Well, there you have from a very dedicated Anthony Kernick. We're going to pass the mic down to Michael Conti, who's caught up with your second place from second split, I believe.
Actually, no, Dakota. I believe Garrett has left the track and his coach. So Garrett did finish second. We're not going to get an interview with him tonight, unfortunately. What I am going to do is I'm going to wrap up this show. It was a great race tonight. Dakota and Steve, I mean, it was fun calling it. Only 7 cautions. I believe that was the best race we've seen in quite a few weeks now. Rich Doucette was definitely the dominator tonight, and he showed it at the end with a great restart. Was able to seal the deal. So great race for me to call. I enjoyed watching it, and Dakota, I guess I'll send it down to you first. Any final?
Well, honestly, I'm looking forward to next week. I mean, this week was really good. Atlanta was all right, but I feel like this week produced really good racing. The track and the tire model and everything seemed to be a decent combination, and I'm looking forward to next week as we head to Kentucky, where, as you said at Conti, the things are loose or sliding at like 180 plus miles per hour. It's going to be intense, insane, and a lot of fun.
Definitely. So before I send it back to JD here, I'm going to send it down to our rookie broadcaster, Steve Izeni, on the spot tonight. First broadcast ever for TV. Did a great job. Steve, did you enjoy your first?
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun being up with you guys. It was really fun to watch a race and call it with you for once. It's definitely a change, and as much as I look forward to be back racing, I wouldn't mind being up here and calling some more races with you guys. It's a lot of fun.
Alrighty, well, we're definitely going to have to get something figured out for the near future. I'm going to send it down to JD Webb at Race Central. JD, how'd you feel about the race?
Outstanding. I tell you what, downstairs here in my little hole-in-the-wall booth, looking out the big picture window, what a race here tonight, Cowboy. I tell you what, some good stuff. We always like to see that here on Friday Night Showdown. Of course, sponsored by Gary Mercer Trucking, gmercer.com. Check them boys out. But hey, we ain't done yet, Cowboy. There's some more racing coming your way tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. North Road, Chicagoland Speedway. But don't pack your bags yet. On Sunday, 7:45 p.m., the Elite Pro Series from Stock Car Evolution, ESRL, they're going to be at Chicagoland as well. But whoa, Cowboy, keep them bags packed. Coming back on Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Actually, we're going to start broadcasting at 9 o'clock, live qualifying from Real Sim Racing. They start their Chase Race Premier Series here on ETV Live at Chicagoland Speedway. And, of course, for those of you tuning into all the live events here at ETV Live, you can also catch them on the ETV Live radio via the HD radio network like we are tonight, live from Chicagoland Speedway. So I'll tell you what, Cowboy, before we close this thing out, we're going to close it out with a little Pink Floyd, Brain Damage, quite appropriate for all the boys here at ETV Live. We'll catch you next time.
Thank you.